Hello everyone. Today I decided to make a video showing off my Beatles collection. I think I'm going to do the singles in the same video as well and all the solo stuff as well, so this is going to be probably a very long video, so bear with me for a second. Now, I haven't been into the Beatles for quite a few years, so I haven't really been up to date and collecting all the stuff. But I do have a sizable amount of things in my collection which I thought was good enough to show off. So let us begin. Now I have all the 2012 stereo releases and all the 2014 mono releases, which is from the mono box set. So I'll just go through those really quickly because it's all reissues. So first we have Please Please Me in mono. Please Please Me in stereo. These are all recent reissues unless I point them out specifically. With the Beatles in mono. With the Beatles in stereo. And then a 1992 Korean pressing of With the Beatles. It's just on the two. Let me show you this. 2 EMI box Parlophone label there. And it comes with a little liner note insert thing, which comes with probably most of 90s Korean issues of records. So this was my first copy of With the Beatles that I ever got. A Hard Day's Night in mono. A Hard Day's Night in stereo. And A Hard Day's Night, a Japanese pressing. This is a late 60s reissue of their original Hard Day's Night. But this is the back cover there. This is still on the red wine, translucent red colored vinyl record, which I think looks so cool. I know it's supposed to be like, oh, it's audiophile pressing and stuff. It's quieter record, whatever. But I still think it looks really cool. Beatles for Sale in mono. Beatles for Sale in stereo. I would like all the original mono albums. You can see a couple of them in the UK whenever I go back there. You know, at the moment I'm just not that interested. Help in mono, especially when the mono box set is so good. Help in stereo. And then a reissue of the Dutch Shell Help. This is also on colored vinyl, I believe. It's been a while since I took this out. Yep. It's not an official thing, it's sort of like a bootleg. It's on solid red vinyl. And it's a reissue of the Shell Help cover. I think from the Netherlands, anyways. That's Shell Help. Should be active actually. Next we have Rubber Soul in mono. Rubber Soul in stereo. The Russian pressing of Rubber Soul, the Russian text there, and a different back cover. Third pressing of Revolver, I think this is a -3 cutting in mono. I got that one just because I love Revolver so much. In mono from the box set. And in stereo. Sgt. Pepper's in mono. in stereo. This is actually the first ever vinyl record I ever bought. But yeah, it's stereo copy. And the 50th anniversary remix, Sgt. Pepper. Magical Mystery Tour in mono, which I put here in the main catalog instead of the US albums. But yeah. And in stereo, the White Album in mono, numbered from the mono box set. In stereo, Yellow Submarine, Abbey Road, Abbey Road 50th anniversary remix, Let It Be, Past Masters. Okay, cool. There. And finish off the main catalog, Mono Masters, which is a trifold, triple disc design. Opens up like that. Kind of looks like an anthology in a way. But yeah. Now we move on to compilations and other albums. Right, so compilations. First ever UK Beatles compilation. This is a collection of Beatles oldies. This is a Japanese Apple pressing. These are some of the earliest records I ever bought from the Beatles. So you have the Red Album. It's the US pressing. The Blue Album. This is a Korean 90s pressing. There you go. Live at the BBC. This is a 90s original pressing from Korea. I love that brown sepia tone cover. It looks better than the reissue. And amazing how many tracks they fit on one side, you know. That's a prized possession that is quite rare. Not an original pressing. My 2013 reissue. This is the only vinyl anthology that I have. It's Anthology 1. I think this is a D'Agostini issue. Yeah, it is. Yellow Submarine. I believe this is just a modern. Is it not a modern issue? Well, it also only says 68 and 99. So this might be a 90s pressing. But I highly doubt that, because it looks brand new. But you know, Yellow Submarine song track. Beatles 1. This, I know for a fact, it's a D'Agostini. Right? Or is it not? Sorry, that's just a normal 2015 pressing. Love. I actually really like this album. I know some purists are like, oh, you shouldn't be mixing songs and stuff, but I quite like it. The original release of Live at the Hollywood Bowl. This is a US copy. And then the remaster, which is Live at the Hollywood Bowl 8 days a week. Soundtrack. And finally for the compilations, I have On Air, Live at the BBC Volume 2, which is not as good. I mean, it still has some cool songs on here, like Lend Me Your Comb, The Hippie Hippie Shake, Beautiful Dreamer was really good. But this is just not as good as the original. Next we'll move on to the US albums. So I do have all of the unique US albums, so we'll get through all of them. First we have Introducing the Beatles. This is in mono, and this is official. This is the sort of less rare one with Please Please Me in it instead of the rare one with Love Me Do on the record. But I'm happy to have that regardless. So another VJ album here, Beatles Tell All. This is pretty common. Actually, it's just an interview record. Starting with Capital now, we have Meet the Beatles. This, I believe, is a original US pressing. You know, on this guy, as you can see, like, oh, is it a Jacksonville pressing? It's some other pressing. It's like West Coast, East Coast, they're different and stuff. I never really cared about those. It's just like, as long as I have an original, you know, I consider it pretty good. I just never really cared about East Coast, West Coast pressing differences and stuff like that. Beatles' second album. This is a reissue with the RIAA certificate. This is, yeah, that's stereo. A Hard Day's Night. This is another stereo one. This is another sort of later issue. Don't have a lot of original Capitol ones, but I don't really care. Something New in the original shrink wrap. Again, this is a sort of reissue. Not like a modern reissue, obviously, but these are sort of later pressings from like the late 60s and 70s. This one I only got recently because I was actually missing this and I forgot about this album. The Beatles Story, the double album. Got this at a record fair. Do not know if this is it looks to be an original, but again, I don't really check. Unless I'm putting them into my record catalog document, but apart from that, I don't really check. Beatles 65. Beatles 6. Another gold record RIAA certificate one in the shrink, which is cool. The early Beatles. This is a Rainbow Capital one. Help. This is actually not an American one. This is Canadian, and you can tell because it has Canadian albums listed on the back there, like Long Tall Sally, Beatlemania, and Twist and Shout, which I would like to get someday, but you know, if I can find them. I'm not really actively seeking them out. The Rubber Soul US, this actually took me a while to get. This is in like mint condition, the record, and it is an Apple pressing, but it's such a good like quality. Yesterday and Today, the RIAA certificate. And I have, because it felt missing in my collection, I picked up a bootleg of the Butcher cover. So this is a bootleg pressing. You can see in person it's quite low quality, the cover. It's very high contrast and stuff like that. The record itself is sort of light green, sort of teal kind of color. But yeah, if you live in the UK or in London, in that sort of area, you could very easily pick this one up. So you could probably frame it and you'd be like, I got one. Revolver, this is another Apple pressing. This is again in great condition. This is 75 issue. But yeah, that is the sort of last proper Capitol original. Also have Hey Jude at the end, just because. Yeah, those are. I think this is a Japanese pressing actually. Yeah, it is Toshiba Japan. So those are my US albums. Let's get to the bootlegs. So I just turned on a fan over there. You can see my hair blowing. So if you hear some loud background humming noise, I am so sorry, but it is actually boiling in this room, so I had to do that. Right. Before I move on to like actual sort of bootlegs we're all familiar with, I have a couple of rare Korean unofficial bootleg pressings of Beatles records. I want to show them off. So this one's called Top Tune Show Volume 7. Now this is the first ever Beatles related Korean pressed album there is. This is very, very rare. Like even as like a Korean rare records collector, I've only ever seen this once in person, and this is it. Now Top Tune Show, just to go on a little bit on a tangent, Top Tune Show was a sort of compilation album series. Think of it as like a Korean version of the Top of the Pops records, but instead of cover versions, these are all unofficial originals because they bootlegged all men-made compilations and stuff. The Beatles appear in quite a few of them because obviously they're the biggest band in the world, but this was the only one with them on the front cover, and this is the first ever Korean pressed album to have the Beatles on it. That's the label, that's the back cover. Now I will link my website koreanrockalbums.com in the description, and on the site there's a section called the Top Tune Show or whatever, where you can delve into every available pressing of the Top Tune Show albums and look at their front and back sleeves and the record labels and stuff. I'm trying to catalog the whole series, and obviously they're still missing bits, but you know, just a little bit of a side tangent there. I do apologize. Some more. We have Something New. It's on Domido Records. This channel I'll upload a couple more Korean rock collection videos as well, so if you're interested in sort of delving into that, do expect those future videos in the future. We also have Beatles hit song. This is originally on Mimi Records, the same one as the Top Tune Show one, but this is a later pressing on blue vinyl on Shinjin Records. It's another quite rare one. Next is Sgt. Pepper's. This is based on the US pressing because of the stereo band at the top there, and they erased the Beatles there. Abbey Road. This is on Tedo Records. There's another big label in Korea that released a lot of bootlegs. Yeah, there's Abbey Road there. This next one I got for free. This is apparently quite rare. It's a double album called The Best of the Beatles. Still have a few more. Yesterday and Today, Let It Be, Beatles Golden Deluxe. This is in purple. There's a few color variations of that. This is Golden Deluxe Volume 2. And what's interesting is, if you look at the track listing, it features a lot of solo songs, which is quite, you know, interesting. I couldn't find a synonym for interesting in time, I'm sorry. This is another bootleg compilation. This is the one actually my mom owned. Excuse me. And there's also a CD version of this, which she owned as well, and my dad apparently owned the cassette version, but we don't have that anymore. So yeah, this is quite a popular one. I think that was from the 90s. A couple of miscellaneous stuff. We have Chet Atkins Plays the Beatles, or whatever this album's called. But I didn't know it was a Chet Atkins album at the time, so I just picked it up because it was the Beatles thing. Wings, Good Night Tonight, 12-inch. And Give My Regards to Broad Street. Alright, let's move on to like actual bootlegs now. Quarrymen at Home. This has all the 1960 Quarrymen home recordings featuring Stuart Sutcliffe. These are probably the only recordings to feature Stuart. And if you ever see the Love Me Tender cover of Stuart that Stuart did on streaming, that's a fake one. That is not him. Gotta have in the beginning Tony Sheridan recordings. Don't have that. We have. Are these more Tony Sheridan recordings? It is. Okay. This is the Savage Young Beatles. I got it because, you know, it's such a iconic cover. And it's on Anthology as well. It says this is the Savage Young Beatles. It features Pete Best on the cover. And it's a bunch of Sheridan recordings. Obviously, one of my favorite Beatles unofficial releases. This is Live at the Star Club, 1962. This is a Japanese Victor pressing, double album, just a beautiful record. The Decca editions, you could probably pick this up really easily. This has been reissued a lot by DOL, which is sort of like a public domain releasing bootleg label. I think there's like a picture disc of it, or like a clear vinyl version of it. Beatles at the B Volume 1. This is in the style of the Beatles' second album cover. This is, if you don't know, this is a bunch of BBC recordings before Live at the BBC was released. And we have Beatles at the B Volume 7, which is based on the Beatles Beat German compilation. A lot of hair. This is one of the first Beatles albums I got, and I didn't realize it at the time. It's called Beatles Forever, but it is a live bootleg of their Germany, like Munich shows from '66, and Live at the Prince of Wales Theatre Royal Variety Show. So it's a mix of stuff there. I just picked it up because of the cover. Budokan Live in Japan, Act 1. This is on translucent green vinyl. We also have Act 2. This is, you might have guessed it, but it's on red. Again, these are brilliant bootlegs. I love these. I haven't listened to them in a while, so they'll probably not take my word for it, but I really like the presentation of everything. From the same, thought something fell. From the same label, we have Philadelphia, PA, 1964. That's the track listing there. Is this on colored vinyl? No, it's not. They have a couple more unofficial Beatles releases, that label. Not for sale. This is such an iconic bootleg, and it has a great track listing too. So I wanted to get it. So I found that in Japan. It's such an iconic one. Mellow Yellow. This is from this sort of bootleg label. I don't remember what it was called. Yeah, but they all have these rubber sole labels. It's in the tip of my tongue. I can't. But they made a bunch of like alternate albums of like of the Beatles catalog, like make bootlegs of it. This is the only one I could find. They famously made Robbie, Soul, Sal, and stuff like that. But you know. This one's actually one of my prized bootlegs. This is the Beatles' Black Album. Such a famous bootleg. And I managed to find it in person in Korea too, so I thought that was great. This is a gatefold that opens up like that. Basically what this is a bunch of their Get Back session bootleg recordings. This is on triple disc. Let me show you all of it. So first, you get a massive poster. This looks absolutely brilliant. I don't know how this is going to work with the fan blowing. Yeah, it's already sort of fighting me. But I'm going to try and make it work and not rip it. So this is obvious play on the Beatles' White Album poster. But it's from the Get Back session. And the back has a bunch of lyrics. We managed to make it work without tearing it apart. Whoa, I haven't folded it yet. There we go. Right, that's the poster. I am so sorry. It's just, I cannot function without a fan right now. and it's triple disc. But all the labels are this National Lampoon dog gun label. Yeah, I don't think I've actually sat through this. I really need to. I've been trying to get back into the Beatles for a while. I had a massive punk phase, and then now I'm sort of getting back into 60s rock, sort of like Jerry and the Pacemakers and the Hollies and Dave Clark 5 and stuff like that. I haven't really gone back into the Beatles though. I will do a Dave Clark 5 and Jerry and the Pacemakers collection video, and a Hollies one as well. I just need to get a couple more stuff. And I will do a Monkeys collection and a Rolling Stones collection as well, because I've got a decent amount of both of those. So expect that on this channel. We have the first ever bootleg I've got of the rooftop concert. So just a regular rooftop concert. But then I got another one after the 2022, I think, digital only live album, and someone made it into an actual set, and I thought that looks amazing. I want that, so I had to buy it again. So I might sell the other one. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is a brilliant pressing. There's quite a bit of stuff. It has a massive poster that I'm not going to unfold. It's just that picture right there on the top. This is the inner sleeve. They come in a separate paper sleeve, and it's on. I don't know why they chose this color, but it's on brown vinyl. Let's say blue, not blue. Yeah, I think this is really good bootleg. Apparently it's in true stereo, so that's cool. This is a weird one. I found this in Japan. It's called Spicy Beatles Song, so it's already a sort of a weird title. But I picked this one up. I wouldn't usually buy random bootlegs, but this one has a song called Have You Heard the Word as the first track. There. I think these are mostly Get Back recordings, honestly. There's some 68 stuff. But yeah. That one, you really, Have You Heard the Word? That the first track. That one is a fake Beatles song. That one's not real. There's someone else singing it. So I thought that was interesting to have. A bootleg of the Christmas album, which is all the Christmas flexi discs. I would like to listen to this during Christmas, but I haven't yet. So yeah, there you go. And then finally for bootlegs, we have Everyday Chemistry on 2 discs. Now, I bought this on Discogs. Unfortunately, one of the discs, the hole isn't centered properly, so there's a lot of wow and flutter, which is a shame because it's so cool to have Everyday Chemistry on vinyl. This is a sort of alternate universe history thing where it's a story of a guy going into an alternate universe, and the Beatles haven't broke up yet, so he gets this cassette of the Beatles, and in reality it's just a mashup of all their solo songs, but it's a really good album. Then nonetheless, it's on sort of this peachy sort of colored vinyl. 2 discs. And then just at the end here I have a compilation of songs Lennon and McCartney gave away. Yeah, it has Ringo Starr, Billy J. Kramer, Peter and Gordon, the Applejack, Cilla Black, the Foremost, Scott Park. Yeah, stuff like that on here. That's cool. Now we got through all the Beatles stuff, at least the 12-inch records. We'll go through all the solo stuff. So first on the block we have John Lennon. So next we move on to John Lennon. Most of the John Lennon and George Harrison stuff are modern reissues, because a lot of them are from their respective box sets, so don't expect much from them. But I'll still show it off as well. And I think I've got a complete John Lennon collection, at least that I'm proud of. So yeah, let's go through them. So first we have Unfinished Music, Volume 1, 2 Virgins. Now I'm not going to take it out of the bag, lest I run the risk of getting my whole channel deleted. Life with Lions. Really careful now since Life with Lions. This is not on Zapple, interestingly enough. This is on a Yoko Ono reissue label. It's on white vinyl. Check it out. It looks like that. Shit, I thought was interesting. Yeah, I think these are like Japanese shoes. It also seems to have a couple of other things. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in it. So we have this art thing, I guess. Of a War is Over poster there. You have this little photo book, I guess. Around this time. It's a really nice package. I see a lot of people talking about this reissue. Do I have that art card thing? I do, okay. Just making sure because everything's really irritating right now. It's really humid, so I'm stressed. And then the fan is hoping that it's blowing hair into my face and it's really itchy. But you know, first world problems. Right, we have the wedding album box. This actually cost me quite a bit, but I'm happy to have it. We have the wedding booklet there, and a little fold-out poster thing that I'm not gonna bother too much about. The press, this says, and it's like newspaper clippings. Bagism, which is a literal bag with like some stuff in it. Like, I thought this was quite cool. It's among like photo cards and other things. It's a little photo of the two of them, which I thought was pretty cute. Yeah, that's Bagism. And then the actual record itself in this sort of gatefold sleeve. It just has two tracks, obviously, John and Yoko in Amsterdam. Put everything back in. It's a nice little box set for an album that's terrible, you know. I'm not one of those people who hate on Yoko Ono. I actually have one of her albums that I'm going to show off later in the video. And it's one of my favorite Yoko Ono albums of all time. It's really good. Live in Toronto, 1969. I actually don't know what pressing this is. It does say EMI, so it might be like a Korean pressing. Not sure. All of these are from the box set, so this is Plastic Ono Band from the box set. This is not from the box set actually. This is 87, I think, Bulgarian pressing of Imagine. Yep. And then this is the box set version of Imagine, which does have like a poster of John Lennon playing in front of his piano. Then two postcards. This one's quite cool because it's like him recreating the Ram album cover. There you go. Sometime in New York City, which I actually really like. This album's really quite good. Yeah. Especially, I think it's We're All Water. That's the final track. It's like a really cool song. I actually love that album. New York City is a great song as well. Mind Games. This is another good album. Walls and Bridges. I actually put this in a sleeve. This is all from the box set, but I put this in the sleeve because I want the fold-outs to get damaged. Shaved Fish. This is not from the box set. I had to buy this separately. but it has like unique mixes and stuff. Rock and roll. Double fantasy. And oh, it's not Rock, it's Heartplay Unfinished Dialogue. This is technically like Unfinished Music Volume 4. This is another experimental release. Yeah. Yep. And then we get to Milk and Honey. We have Live in New York City. And finally for John Lennon, Menlove Avenue. Right, let's move on to George Harrison. Right, George Harrison time. I still do not own any Traveling Wilburys albums, which is a bit of a shame. But all of these are from the George Harrison box set, apart from one. Actually, two. Actually, I don't know how many I don't. It's how many of them aren't from the box set. Well, I'll tell you when I get to it. Wonderwall Music. My favorite track off that is Skiing. It's such a good rocker. Electronic Sound. This one's cool because it comes in the original sort of Zappo label, which is Apple subsidiary, or sort of like Apple and Frank Zappa-esque, like experimental music. But they only put Life with Lions and Electric Sound on it. There's no other album on that set in that label. All Things Must Pass. You know. This one's not from the box set. Concert for Bangladesh. I'm actually gonna open this up. Comes with a little Japanese write-up insert thing, and then we have the actual Concert for Bangladesh like photo book thing, and like yeah, it's quite thick this, and then the actual 3-disc set is in there. So yeah. It took me a while to find a cheap one because this is a 3-disc box set. I'm so glad I have Concert for Bangladesh. It's a bit worn copy, but it's fine. Living in the Material World. Dark Horse. Just flipping through this quickly. Extra Texture, read all about it. This also is in the sleeve because I kept damaging the text there, flipping through the records. 33 1/3. Self-titled. It's a really good album, I actually quite like this. I also really like Somewhere in England as well. There you go. Gone Troppo. It's alright. Original pressing of Cloud 9. Again, brilliant album. Brilliant album. And the one from the box set. This one's not from the box set. This is the best of Dark Horse, and this is quite an essential one to find for George Harrison fans because it has non-album tracks, Cheer Down, and 2 exclusive tracks on here, Poor Little Girl and Cockamamie Business. So this is a must-have. This one was in the box set, strangely enough. It is Live in Japan 2 LP set. And finally, my favorite George Harrison album, Brainwashed. Such a good album. In the box set, it came with this little picture disc singles set. Contains this Friar Park Studio invoice and 2 picture discs. This is in PVC sleeves, but I have no way to like replace it right now. But we have When We Was Fab single with Zigzag. That's the way it goes. It's already sort of wrinkling, which is why you shouldn't have PVC sleeves. This one's sticking. Again, why you shouldn't have PVC sleeves. But I don't listen to these. Got My Set On You and Leia's Head. These 12-inch singles are a nice little addition to the box set, I believe. But do not like the PVC sleeves. Alright. And that is George Harrison. Moving on to Ringo Starr. Now for Ringo Starr, I have every album from his debut all the way up to, I was gonna say just before Why Not, but since Ringo-Rama was reissued on vinyl, and I'm not getting that, although I love the album, it is so expensive. So I have up to, so until Ringo-Rama, and I have a couple of stuff after that as well. But yeah, let's get to Ringo. Magic Christian soundtrack, which doesn't actually feature any Ringo songs. There's a couple of Beatles stuff, and Come and Get It is on here as well as the Ringo Starr and Peter Sellers soundtrack. Sentimental Journey. This is an 80s Capitol reissue. Who Coops a Blues. Ringo 1973. It's a great release there. Goodnight Vienna, which is actually a Korean pressing. Yeah, Korean licensed pressing. First Ringo album I ever got. Ringo's Rodovagure. Ringo the Fourth, which I actually really like. Wings is a great track. Can't She Do It Like She Dances? Brilliant album, brilliant song. Bad Boy. Stop and Take the Time to Smell the Roses. I really like this album. Private Property is great. Rack My Brain is great. Drumming Is My Madness is sort of, Attention's great. Stop and Smell the Roses is great. You Belong to Me, Take Dead Giveaway. Back Off Boogaloo, re-recording. So good. So good that I have another pressing of this. This is the Record Store Day reissue. It's the double album, sort of a deluxe edition with bonus tracks. These were on a CD issue from the 90s, I believe. But these are from the same sessions as the original album. But yeah, this is sort of a deluxe edition, which is cool, which is why I wanted it. This is by Broadwalk Entertainment, and it's so funny. Let me get on a little tangent real quick, because Broadwalk Entertainment is the most, like, depressing record label ever, because they have rights to a solo Beatles record, like a Beatles related recording, and they have a Beach Boys related recording. But it's such a shame that the Beatles related recording is this album and Old Wave, two of the not really well regarded Beatles related stuff, and the Beach Boys related one is a Mike Love solo album. So it's like they hit the jackpot, but in all of the wrong places. And it's so funny to see them reissue these constantly, year after year, trying to earn the little shiver of profit they can like scrape up from these releases. It's really quite funny. Anyways, speaking of Old Wave, here's a Japanese pressing of Old Wave. This is actually really hard to find Old Wave, so I'm so happy that I found any pressing of this. I think this was only released in like Canada and Germany originally, so again, very hard to find. Time Takes Time. This is a modern reissue from 2017. It's a great album. One of my favorite Ringo albums of all time. Don't have Vertical Man because that wasn't issued on vinyl yet. But I do have a recent reissue of I Wanna Be Santa Claus, which is weird that they would reissue this instead of Vertical Man. And finally, I just have What's My Name, because this is a personal, one of my favorite personal Ringo albums for me, because this is when I was first getting into the Beatles. He released this and I was like, this is a great album. Right, let's get into McCartney. I must state a little warning. I have nowhere near a complete Paul McCartney collection, not even close, but I do have a quite sizable amount, so I'll be showing it off. So I have a recent 2017 reissue actually of McCartney, and the 2017 reissue of Ram as well. I think this is a UK original, yeah, UK original of Wildlife, which I actually really like. I think Mumbo is a great track. Red Road Speedway. This is a US pressing. the soundtrack to James Bond's Live and Let Die. Band on the Run. Just another early one I got. One of the earliest records and Beatles records in general that I got. Venus and Mars, which actually have a bunch of stuff in it. I'll show you real quick. Because this one has these two stickers and two posters. This is a complete set, and I didn't even realize that I got a complete set at the time. I just wanted Venus and Mars. So I think that might be worth a bit of money to have both posters and the stickers as well. But I haven't really checked yet. So yeah, that is the complete Venus and Mars. Wings at the Speed of Sound. This is a UK pressing. The triple album Wings Over America. London Town. One of my favorite Wings albums of all time. We have Band on the Run. This is a US pressing. I think this is also a US pressing. Yeah, I have two Band on the Run because one of my friends gifted it to me. So I have two Band on the Run. Not Band on the Runs. It's Back to the Egg. So sorry. Okay. McCartney 2. This one comes with the single-sided Coming Up live single, which I'll show you in the 7-inch section of the video. Tug of War. Pipes of Peace. Give my regards to Broad Street. Press to Play. The Russian album. Snob, SSSR or something like that. Flowers in the Dirt. And I think, yeah, I have. Actually, I have this as well. This is Off the Ground. This is an original Korean pressing in the shrink with the hype sticker. This is very rare, so I'm happy I managed to find a copy of this. But yeah, so I have every Paul McCartney studio album from McCartney to Off the Ground, I believe. All Is Live, excluding like the Fireman stuff and random other releases. I also have Flaming Pie, so that might actually extend to Flaming Pie. This is the Archive Collection version from the box set, which came with a home demo disc. Love Flaming Pie, one of my favorite Paul albums of all time. Chaos and Creation was another good album, a really good album that I really liked. Driving Rain's another one, but that one hasn't been reissued ever on vinyl. So please MPL, I need that. And then finally I have McCartney 30 I bought it when it came out. Right, just a few 12-inch stuff now, a little bit of Beatles related stuff, and we'll get to the singles. Alright, just a few more. Yeah, Beatles related stuff. Best of the Beatles, which is actually a Pete Best solo album. Heyman's Green, which is a 2008 Pete Best solo album, signed by Pete Best, and it's on green vinyl. This is the Yoko album I was talking about, Season of Glass. What a brilliant album. Absolutely love this album. And finally, Julian Lennon's Valid. I was going to put the Russell stuff as well, but I have quite a bit of Russell stuff, so I will make a separate video for that. Now, singles time. I have a big box of singles in front of me. Let's get through them as quickly as possible. First single. On Polydor, we have My Bonnie backed with The Saints. This is a Japanese pressing, obviously. Actually, I think I can afford to turn off the fan. There we go. Yeah, my bunny. We have a few Decca bootlegs. We have Like Dreamers Do and Searchin' on red vinyl Decagon labels. Let me just sort this out real quick. Sure to Fall and Money on blue. We have an Oldies 45 pressing, which is a VJ subsidiary of Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You. We have a 80s picture disc of the same single. And we have, I think this is a 2013 issue of the same single as well. Now, I do have a Beatles singles collection box set, which I won't be going through because it's too much work and you already know the contents of it. So I'm just showing you all the unique stuff I have. We have All My Loving EP. We have a Tully single for There's a Place in Twist and Shout. And we have another Tully single of the same thing, just different pressing. Of a VJ pressing of Please Please Me and From Me to You. It's a quite common one of the VJ singles. We have a UK From Me to You and Thank You Girl. We have a Swan, She Loves You and I'll Get You. And we also have a UK She Loves You and I'll Get You. We have UK I Wanna Hold Your Hand and This Boy. We also have a US I Wanna Hold Your Hand and I Saw Her Standing There. Can't Buy Me Love and You Can't Do That. We have a bootleg of the Shindig performance from the Rhythm and Blues label. Long Tall Sally EP, which I've seen by the days. I Feel Fine and She's a Woman. We have a reissue of the UK double EP of Magical Mystery Tour, which comes from the Magical Mystery Tour Blu-ray DVD box set. Lady Madonna and The Inner Light. Sorry about the noise outside. If you can even hear that. Hey Jude and Revolution, US pressing. We have picture sleeve of Let It Be, but inside we have Get Back single. Just weird. So I have a promo of the dialogues from the motion picture Let It Be. This is quite common actually, but it was interesting to have. You obviously gotta have movie medley, so I have that. Baby It's You EP. Free as a Bird, back with Christmas Time Is Here Again. Played that last Christmas. Real Love, back with Babies in Black. These are all UK pressings, two anthology ones. And obviously Now and Then to finish off the Beatles section, which is on light blue vinyl. My sister also owns a clear vinyl version of that. So on to solo stuff now. Give Peace a Chance picture disc. And we also have this mangled one with the back of Boogaloo picture disc on it. Instant Karma. We also have a I said picture disc earlier, didn't I? Picture sleeve, I meant. We have Instant Karma picture sleeve reissue. Happy Christmas on green vinyl. We have this Elton John Lennon performance EP, which has I Saw Her Standing There, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Please to try and find this, because it's incredible to hear 70s John Lennon playing I Saw Her Standing There and Lucy in the Sky. Just Like Starting Over and Kiss Kiss Kiss. Kiss 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 is a great song actually. And finally for Jonah we have Watching the Wheels and Yes I'm Your Angel. George Harrison, Bangladesh, and Ding Dong Ding Dong. That's a German pressing there. Ringo, we have a back of Boogaloo, Blind Man, and Only You and Call Me. I actually also do have a. I'll show you this because not a lot of people know about existence of this set. I have a Ringo Starr vinyl singles box set, which has most of his early non-album singles. Get a little poster there for the singles themselves. We have Photograph, that's with Down and Out, which is a non-album song. It Don't Come Easy in early 1970, another non-album single, and the single version of It's Over, Good Night Vienna, and Ooh Wee, the single mix, is different from the album mix. I have a little Ringo Starr 45 adapter there, which is cool to include. I think this was a Record Store Day release. You don't see a lot of people talking about it, which is weird, but yeah. That's that. Put that back on the shelf. Right, back to the collection. We have a couple of Paul McCartney ones. We have Another Day, back to the Woman Oh Why. Backseat of My Car and Heart of the Country. Give My Ireland Back to the Irish, back with another version of that song. Mary Had a Little Lamb and Little Woman Love. Helen Wheels and Country Dreamer. Mull of Kintyre and Girls' School. Good Night Tonight, German single. Wonderful Christmas Time, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reggae. This is the single that came in McCartney 2, coming up, single-sided live in Glasgow. Ebony and Ivory. Spies Like Us, which is incredibly warped that I cannot play. And finally, we have Once Upon a Long Ago. So that should... Oh, actually, I have a couple more Beatles related. This is Heaven, which is Billy Kinsley and Pete Best. This is quite a rare single, hard to find. My friend gave it to me. Finally, we have Julian Lennon's Too Late for Goodbyes. Now, that is all the Beatles vinyl stuff I believe that I own. I didn't show off the singles collection again. It's just up there. Nothing special. But yeah, thanks for watching this incredibly long video. Goodbye.